Hi guys. So I got a couple messages in my Facebook Messenger and a text from a person or two and some interest on my Facebook page. So I thought that I'd go ahead and show you what it's like to manage an insulin pump and short of diet, manage some of the more medical aspects of my diabetes. So today is pump change day and my pump just expired. They expire every 3 days. And I wanted to kind of show you what this all entails. So, bearing that in mind, I take two different kinds of insulin. During the day, I take a fast-acting insulin, and a lot of you might have heard of Humalog or Novolog. Humalog is the one I used to take, but my new endocrinologist prefers a different insulin. It's still a fast-acting, it still does the same thing, and it comes in a vial like this, and it's called Admelog. Humalog is by Eli Lilly, and this is by Sanofi Aventis. So just a different kind of pharma. The Humalog bottles are a little squatter than this. I don't know why I'm telling you all this. You guys don't care. Anyway, this is one way to take insulin is from a vial. And I know a lot of you have probably heard about Walmart insulin, and it's a different kind of insulin. So I don't use that because my care instructions would be different. I would have to dose differently. And it's taken a long time, a very long time, to get to the point where I understand how to titer my own insulin and how much I need and how much I need to take per ratio of carbohydrates. I understand all those ratios, so I don't really want to change at this point. And when you hear about some people switching to the Walmart insulin because it is significantly cheaper, they don't necessarily know to take that into account. So some people have died making that change, which is why I'm kind of pathological about staying on the kind that I know. Anyway, the kind of most common, if you're not on a pump, would be to use a vial and then a syringe and do multiple daily injections, and you can do those 5 or 6 times a day. Some people only do them 3 times a day. A lot of type 2 patients who are insulin dependent use multiple daily injections because that's what they're told to do. As you all know, I'm not a type 2, but if you don't have a pump and can't afford a pump, this is what you do. Another way to take insulin is through a pen. I take my nighttime insulin through an insulin pen, and all it is basically a pre-filled syringe. And it tells you, here you have a dial where you can dial in how much you take. So at night I take 44 units of this. Insulin is measured by unit. This holds 200 units. No, it doesn't. It holds 500. It's 200 units per milliliter. So in this pen there's 2.5 units of something. My math's probably slightly off there, but there's 2.5 units of about 2.5 units of or milliliters of insulin in here, and I use it by the unit. So you can see right now that plunger where it is. I've used this pen quite a bit. I have a box of pen needles that you attach to the end, and then it's just like a normal injection. You hit the plunger, you hold the plunger down until it clicks, then you're done. This is my long-acting insulin. I take this at night about 9 o'clock. If I take it too early, it's too soon, and then my dawn effect kicks in and my liver dumps a bunch of glucose and I wake up with a really high blood sugar, which we try to avoid. So if I take it at 9 o'clock, that seems to work out well with our sleep schedule. On dialysis nights, or the night before dialysis, I typically take it a little earlier because I try to get to bed a little earlier. I also take another one. This is called Ozempic. I take this one because, as everybody knows, I'm fat. And this one, I don't necessarily know it's specifically an insulin, but they have shown in studies that this helps eliminate, once you go on insulin, or once you're on insulin, you have a tendency to gain weight. Part of that is because when you're not on insulin, you're peeing out extra calories in the form of sugar that you're not digesting. Hi, kitty. And so you lose weight by peeing out calories. And once you start digesting that insulin, you stop peeing out the calories, right? So you keep those in your body, and then your body does with them what it will. Also, insulin's a hormone that encourages weight gain. They even give type 1 diabetics who have weight problems things like metformin and Ozempic, and this is supposed to reduce my weight, if I follow a good diet, by 5 pounds over the course of a year. 5 pounds is 5 pounds, so I'll take it. Anyway, those are the two major ways that you can take insulin, or you can get a pump. This is what my pod looks like. This is the one I just took off. It looks gross and ugly right now because it just came off my arm. It was right here up until about 5 minutes ago. You can see I've got kind of a welt where the needle and the cannula went in. I'll show you that on this side. I don't know if you can see it, but right up here, there's this sticky outy part This is the cannula that was inside me. It's launched in by a needle, and if you look real close on this part, you can see the faint hint of a pink thing. That's the plunger that injects. It starts out here, and when I press start on the thing I'm going to show you next, it injects that cannula into my arm. The reservoir for insulin's right here. It holds 200 units of insulin, which is supposed to last for 3 days. I haven't been using 200, so you'll have to see. I'll have to suck some of the insulin out of this so I don't waste it. This is a battery. It's got 3 batteries here. If you look here, you can see the beginnings of the motherboard for this. This communicates with my PDM, which is a personal diabetes manager, via RF frequencies. I think I just said that redundantly. RFID, radio frequency ID. And my PDM takes whatever I put into it as per my parameters and sends it to my pod, which then just automatically injects the insulin. So this is the kit that I bring with me constantly. This has my Lancets, my Lancet device, my test strips, the coveted test strips, and my PDM. And this is the thing that's actually the pump. This controls how I get my insulin. So this is on the screen. I've deactivated my pod and I took it off, and I'm about to put a new one in. So that's where we're starting right now. This is the container that my pod, I keep calling it a pump because that's essentially what it is. It's an insulin pump, but they call these just the pod. It's a tubeless system, so there's no tubes connecting the pod to the PDM. The last pump I had was from Medtronic, and it was a great pump. I'm not saying that it wasn't, but it had tubes that connected from the pump part, which was maybe like a quarter of the size of this thing, and it hooked onto my belt or in my bra, depending on what I wore. And the tube connected from the infusion set that went on my body somewhere into this pump. So then I had to always fish the tubes through my clothing, like up through the arm of my shirt if I put it on my arm. I used to put it on my belly a lot because it was easy. I could see it. There was really no thinking required. So I'd have to fish it through my pants and like cut a hole in my pocket to get the tube out there. Like there was a lot of pain in the butt things that I did for this. But this is nice because I don't have that tube. I don't have to worry about fishing it through my clothes. Whatever's on me is on me. Whatever's not on me is not on me. So my screen keeps timing out. Okay. There's 2 different kinds of these. One of them works with the RFID, and one of them works with Bluetooth. The Bluetooth one is $600 per box. And as it stood, this set was $600 for 3 months. I really would have liked to have the Bluetooth one because there's an app that integrates with it, and it's on your phone, and I could have invited other people to kind of help me manage and take a look at my information. I could have got it wirelessly to my doctor, but this is pretty cool for what it is. So again, this is the PDM that controls all of it. So what you'll see is that I'm going to go back and forth between the two. So I have to open this pod, and they come with the pod. That's a new one. And then a syringe so that you don't have to buy anything else. Once you have this pod and you have your insulin, you're set to go. So I'm going to go ahead and scavenge the insulin out of here because we all know how crazy expensive that is. Because I bitch about it constantly. So this is kind of a goofy kind of process. Come on. Oh, if it doesn't let me, I'm going to be so mad. I've got 50 units of insulin in here. That's a lot. Hang on, I'm going to do this part and then we'll come right back to you.
You want me to stop the video?
Yeah.
Okay.